Hi everyone, welcome back to Smarta.
With Marta.
We are here for the subtraction expanded form answers. So if you haven't done the lesson on expanded form, please go back and do that first because we're going to spoil your work. So go back and do the lesson first. Come back when you're ready. But first we have some shout outs. Continuing with the theme of shouting out to kids who are doing extra work on top of work they're already doing from us. So things they're interested in. I've got 4 to talk about right now. So Hazel has been doing, as some of you know, she really loved doing the social studies and she finished all the provinces and territories. She's gone to countries now. China, Japan, Malta did our favorite one. So she's doing a lot of those for extra. It's really great. Hazel, keep up the good work. Owen has become a little scientist in his backyard, studying in plants and doing observations and conclusions and diagrams and labeling. So way to go, Owen, with that plant research. What do we have here? Oh, Audrey and her sister Scarlett, actually. Audrey inspired her sister to do fitness challenges. So they've been recording fitness challenges. I got 4 this week from them sent to me on fitness challenges. Way to go, girls. And finally, Asher, another scientist studying lizards in the backyard. He's got a front yard, I guess you would say. So he goes in his front yard, he gently captures the lizards in his front yard, and he takes them indoors and he studies them and draws pictures of them and notes the differences and similarities, makes observations, and then he gently releases them to the front yard again. So he's not harming nature and he's learning from nature. Great scientific work, Asher.
All right, I also have 4 people who have been working on special projects. Isla has been working with butterflies. So she got caterpillars and then they went into a chrysalis and now they've come out as butterflies.
Metamorphosis.
Yeah, so that was a great science project for Isla. Maddie this week made soap and bath bombs, and she said to me, that is like science because you're kind of putting things together.
I chemical reaction.
Yeah, it's also math because you have to measure things to do it, and it's also reading because you have to read instructions to learn how to do something.
You could even say it's art because you can add different colors and textures.
That's right. So great job, Maddie. Elsie has been working with her dad to make this sourdough bread, and I did not realize how complicated it was.
Very much so. Her dad sent us a YouTube video on how to do it. It's a lot of work. The bread, as they call it, the creature.
Well, I think it's the starter.
The starter is the creature, yes, because it's a living organism that grows for the rising effect. It's short of amazing. The flavor of this bread, the bread was so fantastic.
Elsie and her dad made us a loaf of bread first, and then I decided Mr. Marta should make some more for me because it was so good.
To be honest, Elsie and Elsie's dad, I don't know if I'm going to be as successful as you. It looks pretty complicated.
But he's going to try.
I'll try.
Okay. And my last shout out is to Ethan. His mom told me this morning that he has been working on a story that is now about 20 pages.
20?
Long. 20 pages.
Well done, Ethan.
So I cannot wait to read that. Good job, Ethan.
Nicely done.
All right, we're on to jokes. My joke is first. What do you get when you put cheese next to some ducks?
What do you get? Cheese?
Next to some ducks.
Next to some ducks.
Cheese and quackers.
Yes. And my joke, I'm going to read it looking down here. What did the hat say to the scarf?
What did the hat say to the scarf?
You hang around. I'll go on ahead.
Get it?
Head, hang around.
Good one. All right. Meet us over at the easel so you can find out the answers for subtraction expanded form.
Answers. Go back to the lesson if you're not ready for the answers. See you soon. Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back. We are doing the answers to subtraction with expanded form. And I'm hoping that you guys all, boys and girls, did this with expanded form. The disadvantage of me teaching from home and not having you in front of me is I can't see your work. I can't see where you're having success and where you're needing help. So I'm hoping at least you did all these in expanded form, even though you could have done them other ways. So expanded form, here we go. 32 minus 11. I know we're in the tens, so I have a 0 in the tens column. How many tens will I have remaining? I had 3, I take away 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, so I have 20 tens remaining. In the ones column, 2 take away 1 is 1. Now I've done the differences. What do I have remaining? 20 plus 1 is 21, should be your answer. 67 minus 43, again, expanded form. Again, in the tens column. So we have a 0 in the tens column. How many tens do I have? I started with 6, I take away or I subtract 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. No, 2 over there as well. In the ones column, 7 minus 3, that leaves me with 4. What's our answer? We can already see it. That's why I love expanded form. The answer is 24, and you can total up the columns. Here's a 4, and there's a 2 in the tens column.
Remember, you're taking those pieces and putting them together.
Exactly. The tens column, we have 20. The 4 column, we have 1, 24.
In the ones column, we have 4.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said in the 4 column, we have 1.
I have a 4 column now, boys and girls.
Mr. Marta's getting tired. We're getting late at night now.
That's right. It's not too bad. It's only 5:42, so I can't even read the clock right properly. Okay, on to the next one, boys and girls. 23 minus 12. Now, before I continue, if you made a mistake on those, the beautiful thing about this video, sad thing is you're not in front of me. The beautiful thing, though, is you can pause it, make the corrections. Maybe you now realize you made the similar mistake all the way through. Correct all that. Restart the video when you're ready. Because here we go. 23 minus 12. What's interesting, Mrs. Marta, I can tell right away by looking at this in my head to see, I estimate how close it's going to be. I know if I had 12 plus 12, that would equal 24. So I know I'm only 1 away, so I can see.
You know it's going to be close to 12.
I can see it's going to be very close to 12. So let's check it out. 23 minus 12 with expanded form. We're in the tens column. There's our 0 for the tens column. How many tens? We had 2. We take away 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we only have 10 left over. In the ones column, 3 minus 2. Well, that's also 1. So I have a 10 and a 1. Put them together, you get 11. So 23 minus 12 equals 11. We were really close to 12. 76 minus 66. I'm guessing a lot of you right away saw, oh, wait a minute. 66, 76. I can see just by counting up by 10. So I can see the answer is going to be 10. If you wrote 10 there, you're correct. But I wanted you to write an expanded form so we could practice. Hopefully you did this. 76 minus 66, we start in the tens column. There's our 0 for the 10. We had 7 tens minus 6 tens. So 7 minus 6, what are we left with? 7 minus 6 is 1. We go to the ones column, 6 minus 6. That gives us a 0. We need that in that column for expanded form. Well, what are we left with? Well, we can see it's 10. There's nothing in the ones column. There's 1, 10. 10. Yes, you were right. Hope you did it expanded form way. 94 minus 21. Again, we're in the tens column. There's our 0. We started with 9 tens, and we want to take away 2 tens. So we could say 90 minus 20. What do you get? That'll be your answer down here. Or you can say, I have 9 tens minus 2 tens. 9 minus 2 is 7. So I have 7 tens, or 70 remaining. In the ones column, 4 minus 1. Well, 4 minus 1 is 3. Add our rows up. We have a 3 here, and a 7 here. For 73, 73. So I love expanded form. 55 minus 34. Again, we're in the tens column. 5 minus 3. How many tens do I have left? I had 5. I take away 3. Well, 5 minus 3 is 2. In the ones column, 5 minus 4. That's a 1. Add them up. There's our 1. There's our 2 in the tens column. We get 21. So there's, boys and girls, that's your answers for the grade 2 section. We're going on to the grade 3 section. Now, not all of you may have done this. You may decided not to challenge yourself, and that's perfectly fine if you didn't. You did not have to. But I'd suggest if you didn't do it, stay with us. Just follow along. Watch. You'll pick up some things. So, challenge questions, boys and girls. Expanded form. I can see right away each of these questions are in the hundreds. Hundreds, tens, ones. Hundreds, tens, ones. So we're going to start from the left with the hundreds. So let's start it off. How many zeros in 100? There's 2. Let's go to our hundreds column. We had 6 hundreds minus 2 hundreds. You can say 600 minus 200. It's going to be 400. Or you can go 6 hundreds minus 200. 6 minus 2 is 4. 400 is your answer, whichever way you came about it. To the tens column, we had 1, 0, and a 10. What do I have left in the tens column? I had 7. I'm taking away 5. 7 minus 5, that gives me 2 left over. And you can check it if you wanted to. There's your 7. Take away the 5, you got 2 left over. And 2 tens is 20. In the ones column, 3 minus 1, that's also 2. I can see right now the answer is, I can say it, 422. But if you want to add the rows up that way, the columns, In the ones column, I have 0 plus 2 is 2. In the tens column, I have 0 plus 2 plus 0 is also 2. In the hundreds column, 4 plus 0 is 4. 422. 893 minus 552. Again, we're in the hundreds column. There's our two zeros. How many hundreds do we have left? 8 minus 5 is 3. So we have 300. In the tens column, we start with our 0 in the tens column. So how many tens do we start with? We started with 9. We're taking away 5. 9 minus 5, well, 9 take away 5 is 4. So I have 4 tens left over, which is 40. In the ones column, 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 leaves me with 1. You can already see the answer. The beauty of expanded form, the answer is 341. Let's mark it out. 341. 1, 4, 3. If you did that, boys and girls, that's grade 3 stuff. Give yourself, how many check marks, Mrs. Marta?
A billion.
A billion. Now for the super challenge questions. These are going into the negative numbers. I'm hoping if you did this, you've watched our lesson last week or previous weeks before on negative numbers, what they mean. That will help you a lot in this. All our lessons kind of link together. So let's check it out. We go the same style, although we can't do it the easy way anymore. If you're doing Mrs. Marta's easy route, if you're doing expanded form or easy route, you gotta go expanded form. Easy route won't work because it starts off 4, take away 3. Okay, I can do that one. 7, take away 4. I can do that one. 4, take away 9. No, I can't. If I have 4, I don't have enough take away. So I can't do the easy version. Here's where expanded form comes in handy again. So let's check it out. Step by step. If you didn't do this, follow along. You'll pick something up.
It's a preview of next week.
It's a preview of next week because we're going through this next week. We'll start small and get big. So each of these questions, hundreds, tens, ones, hundreds, tens, ones, hundreds, tens, ones, they're all the same format. So we know we're going to start in the hundreds column. How many zeros in 100? There's 2 zeros, just like we did up here. How many hundreds do we have left? 4 minus 3. Well, 4 minus 3 is 1, so I have 100 left. Because 400 minus 300 is 100. I go to the tens column. I put my 0 there for the 10. I add 7 tens and 4 tens. 7 minus 4 is 3, so I have 3 tens left over. And that's correct because 70 minus 40 is 30. Last column, 4 minus 9. Now here's where it gets funny, and we talked about negative numbers last week. You can see what's the difference between these two. First off, you can see the 9 is a greater value than 4, and the 9's in the negative column, so it's going to be a negative answer in this row. Negative 9 and 4. So what's the difference? I use that fact family. If I have a 9 and I have a 4, what do I need to add to that 4 to get that 5 to figure out the difference? 4 plus 5 is 9.
Or you could use your number line.
Exactly.
And start at 4 and count down
so
9.
you would draw it out. You start it, here's your 4, and you count backwards 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gets you to 0. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Count these negative spots. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Either work. However you got that, if you got negative 5, you got it right. Now what do? We can't do like up here where the answer was 422, where the answer was 21. We can't do that here. We can't go 130 negative 5. Doesn't make sense. When you have a negative involved, you got to get it out of there. So let's do this. If we combine the 30 and negative 5, think of it as 30 minus 5. That's my 5 counters, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30 minus 5 is 25. So these two combined together make 25. Now I've got 125 for my answer. Okay, let's draw the next one. 942. If you made a mistake and you want to correct it, pause and go for it. But we're going to go on right now, so here I go. 942 minus 891. These are pretty big numbers. They look scary. Tackle it the same way and you'll get the same results. Step by step. We're in the hundreds column, one thing at a time. How many zeros in 100? Well, there's 2. Now let's look at the hundreds column. 9 minus 8. Well, that's 1. Now we're in the tens column. 4 minus 9. Oh, we had 4 minus 9 from here before. 4 minus 9 was negative 5. Okay, 4 minus 9. Yep, the answer is going to be negative because the 9 is greater. But we're in the, what column is this, boys and girls? It's the tens column. So we're going to put that 0 there for our tens column. Now we can do the 4 and negative 9. What's that equal? That's that minus 5 we got before. So we have minus 5, negative 5, 10. So you have negative 50. Okay?
So 40 minus 90 is negative 50.
Exactly. You had 40 things and you owed 90. You paid back your 40. How much do you still owe? You still owe 50. Go on to the ones column. 2 minus 1, well, that's 1. Okay, we can't say 100 negative 51. That's not a number. We have to figure out how we're going to answer this. Well, this looks pretty easy when you suddenly go this. If you have negative 50 and you add 1. So think of your number line. Pretend negative 50 is, let's do it here. Negative 50, here's your 0. And you're going to count this way. Negative 50 and you add 1 becomes negative 49. So you're going back up the chart. So negative 50 and 1, take 1 away from negative 50, you're getting negative, sorry, my mistake. I'm doing this the wrong way, boys and girls. Forget that.
I'm like, you are making this very hard, Mr. Murdoch.
I'm thinking it's very hard. I was going to go the harder route. Let's go the easier route, boys and girls, because we don't want to end with a negative number. We want to end with a positive number. If I did this, I would have negative 49, and then I got negative 49 minus 100. It just adds more number line stuff. Let's do it differently. I love this. Teachers make mistakes as well. So we had a 1 down here. Let's rewrite this. Here's a 1. All right, forget all this stuff. Let's regroup. We want to find the greater value than the negative 50. Let's look at the 100 here instead. That's much better. If you were on a number line and you were counting by 50s, let's do it up here so you can see it. Here's our 0. If you were counting by 50s, 0 to 50 is 50. 50 to is 100. We're adding 50 and we're adding 50. Okay? If you went backwards, you would go negative 50, backwards another 50, negative 100. So where are we starting? We're starting on 100, boys and girls. We're starting right here. And we're minusing 50. So if we take 100 minus 50, we end back up on 50. So these two combined make 50. And we have this 1 down here now. What's 50 and 1? 51. Sorry for making that so confusing at first, boys and girls. Let's go on to the other one where I won't make it confusing.
Well, that's because it's a super challenge.
This is the super challenge. And this one's even more super challenge because there's going to be 2 negative numbers in this one.
Uh-oh.
If you got this one, boys and girls, wow, you already understand negative numbers. If you got this one, you're doing fantastic. Even I did make a mistake, but I went the harder route first. Whether you went the harder route or the easier route, if you got the answer 51, you're really understanding negative numbers. This one here is by far the biggest challenge of all the super challenges. This is not even grade 3. This is more like grade 4 stuff over here. This is pretty difficult. Let's check it out. But the good news is math has rules. 1 step at a time, follow the rules. Here we go. We start in the hundreds. We have 2 zeros in 100. 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. We go to the tens column. There's 1 0 and a 10. 3 minus 7. So a number line, we're starting at 3. We're going back 7. We're going to end up on negative 4. So we have negative 40 because we had 30 minus 70. If you paid back your 30, you still owe 40. Now the ones column. 6 minus 8. You have 6. You owe 8. If you give those 6 up, how much do you still owe? You owe 2 minus 2. Or if you start in the number line, you start at 6, count back 8. Well, 6 to negative 6 gets you 0. You still owe 2 more, you're negative 2. So now let's look at this. Got some pretty weird numbers here. I would start here to see what you can get. Now this, if you know Mrs. Marta's lessons from Make 10, is that what you're thinking, Mrs. Marta?
What I'm thinking is instead of thinking 300 minus 40, I think 30 tens minus 4 tens.
Oh,
and that makes it easier for me to subtract because I'm just taking 4 away from 30.
Perfect. So what Mrs. Marta says is forget about the hundreds. You know the answer is going to be in the hundreds. Look at the tens. You have 30 tens and 4 tens. So 30 minus 4 is what? 30 minus 4 is 26. So you have 26 tens or 260. Some of you might look at it that way. Others might look at it how I look at it. I don't look at the tens right away. I look at the hundreds right away, and I see I got 300, and I'm going to take away 40. Well, I know 200 are still going to be intact, but that last 100, I'm going to take 40 away from it. If I take 40 away from 100, I'm left with 60. So I have 260. Whichever way you did it, if you got that 260, you're doing fantastic. Then you have to bring this minus 2 over here, because we're not finished yet. 260 minus 2. Well, I know that 200 is going to stay the same. But I have 60 minus 2. If I have 60 and I go back 2, I end up on 58. Your answer is 258. Boys and girls, if you got this, you have had a lot of practice with math.
You can have infinity Googleplex check
Please
marks.
do, because you only have to know how to do this. If you're doing this, you are well practiced. And if we were in class, I'd have you helping some of your classmates get as great at math and has as much practice at math as you have. So if you're doing this, make some more questions up. Challenge yourself. Yes. See you soon.
You made it to the end. We're here for Rexy's joke. Why don't dinosaurs eat clowns?
Well, I'm glad they don't, but why don't they eat clowns?
Because they taste funny.
Very good. Rexy, I'm glad you don't eat clowns. Here's one of your favorite snacks, an apple. Rexy and I are going to share.
Rexy's a messy eater.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky he has this nice tail to catch all the drips.
That's a good apple.
All right.
I'm glad you like apples, Rexy.
All right. Bye, guys.